Hi guys, Paul from Soulmate here today to talk to you about what's new in the Brooks Adrenaline 24 that's just been released and what's different from version 23. For those that aren't familiar, the Brooks Adrenaline GTS range is a stability shoe. In the Brooks range, it sits alongside the Brooks Ghost as a neutral shoe, but comes with added stability in the form of the GTS or Go-To Support guide rail systems. That's what the GTS stands for, is Go-To Support. So what does that mean? What does Go-To Support mean? It's a question that we get asked in the shop a lot. How is this more stable than another shoe? Like the Brooks Ghost is an example, which is the neutral partner to this. And the way that they do it is they use guide rail technology. So the guide rail sits around both the lateral and the medial side of the shoe. And the way that they do that is they have a slightly firmer foam in the midsole. And what that does is as that foot lands, as you come through your gait cycle, you land on your heel, or some people do, and as that rolls through, if there is any movement in that foot, whether it's through problems with the arch or weakness in the ankle, etc., what it does, it just stabilizes that a little bit so there's not too much movement to start to cause problems. I think it's worth mentioning that if you are new to Brooks and new to the Adrenaline range, Brooks generally are a little bit more generous in the toe box area. What we find in stores versus the likes of New Balance and Hoka, definitely you do get a bit more room around this toe box and the forefoot, normally a little bit more on the midfoot as well. So if you are needing or wanting or liking that extra bit of space, then Brooks and certainly the Adrenaline is a good option. So I'm just grabbing the lady shoe just to show the nice colourway that we have in store as well, but I think it just lets me show the difference in the upper slightly better as well. So obviously comparing a light to a dark colour here, but the upper on the 24 is slightly more breathable, I think. Kind of putting my hand inside it, it feels a little bit more breathable, not as shiny, not as synthetic. So yeah, really good update on the upper with this shoe. The other thing you'll notice, again looking at both of these, is a difference in the laces. So a much rounder, much softer lace on the GTS 24. How that, it doesn't seem to slip. It's less of a conventional lace like you had on the 23, but yeah, I guess time will tell once we get some miles in, but it doesn't feel like it's going to slip. It's a lot softer to the touch, and as you tie it up, it does seem to knock together quite nicely. Before we go any further in the video about the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 24, please can you like this video, give a little comment if you've got any questions, that'd be perfect. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for the notifications. We're a new channel and we would love to grow it, so we appreciate your support if you follow us already. If you don't, please do so. So if you're still watching the video, and hopefully you are, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I've got the 23 already. What have you told me thus far to make me want to go out and spend another £140 on the 24? As far as I can tell, it's a slight upper update and some laces, but I've kept the best to last. There is a big midsole update on the 24. We're going from DNA Loft version 2 midsole on the version 23 to the DNA Loft version 3 on the version 24. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is that the Adrenaline now falls in line with the likes of the Ghost and the Glycerin. The Glycerin Max, which has just been released, has got a different midsole again, and we'll cover that once we get the stock of that in. But the Adrenaline GTS 24 ships with DNA Loft V3, as I said, and what that means is it's a nitrogen injected midsole. So despite it looking the same in terms of volume, probably a little bit more with the version 24, it's a lot lighter for the amount of foam. It's a lot more responsive. The midsole has been injected with nitrogen, so you can kind of see the little bubbles on there. Hopefully, if this gives a bit of focus, there we go. And yeah, it just gives that bit more comfort underfoot, a bit more plushness, and also a bit more response. So it, as I said, the Ghost already had the update, the Glycerin 21 had it. It's about time the Adrenaline caught up. The other thing worth mentioning in terms of the difference between the 23 and the 24 is the outer. So compound wise, they're made of the same as far as we can tell. What is different, as you'll see on the 24, are these new flex grooves that they've sort of labelled them. What that does, it just allows the forefoot to be that little bit more flexible, because the Adrenaline was, to its nature, a little bit more firm and a bit more rigid. But it just gives a little bit more flexibility on the forefoot, coupled with the new midsole, just allows that really smooth heel to toe transition as you work through your gait cycle. So there we are, the Adrenaline GTS 24 in a nutshell. In summary, a lot nicer, a lot comfier, a lot more responsive than the previous version. Definitely, if you're into that Adrenaline series, it's definitely worth the upgrade. In terms of if you're not a Brooks wearer or an Adrenaline wearer, if you want that semi-light kind of support, it's not overly corrective, it's not like the Adrenaline Beast and things like that. It's just a nice level of support for the kind of mild to kind of mid-overpronators, if you like. A really, really worthwhile shoe, and a much needed and long-awaited update to the Adrenaline range. The links to the shoes will be below, along with a link to our website and our social media. Please give us a follow. If you're able to buy the shoes, or you're in the market for the shoes, we would really appreciate the custom. If not, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a follow. We appreciate that too. See you soon.